Yes, we go.
We are ready. That's correct. Second, you go.
Control, 3 All right.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Commissioner Hughes. This is the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar for Tuesday, April 15th. It's Tuesday, right? Tuesday, April 15th. The court's orders for the taking of DNA samples and fingerprints issued on the first calendar of April will apply to the hearings on this calendar. As we get started in here this afternoon, I will call each of you into the courtroom one at a time. I'll ask one of you to stand behind this gray podium here in the courtroom in front of me. It's really tall. Are we good with that, officer?
Yes.
It's normal?
I fired up. You want me to
I don't know. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So one person here in the courtroom, the next two people that I will call into the courtroom, I'll ask to line up in the two chairs right inside this door. So I'll ask one person to come into the courtroom, one person to sit in the first chair, one person to sit in the second chair, and we'll just sort of move that way through the calendar. I know that seems a little bit sort of archaic, but it will make this calendar move faster. So if you will, please listen for your name and sort of follow that progression. It'll get everybody to where they need to be after this calendar a little bit faster. Once you work your way into the courtroom and you're behind the podium, I will start by asking you to state your full name and date of birth. Then I will explain to you why you're here this afternoon. I will tell you whether you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer to defend you. Those lawyers are sometimes referred to as public defenders. Whether or not you qualify for a public defender, you have the right to the assistance of counsel in criminal cases. So you always have the right to hire a private lawyer to defend you if you wish to. If you don't qualify for a public defender, hiring a private lawyer is the only way you'll get a lawyer. If you do qualify for a public defender, but you elect not to use the public defender's office, you can hire a private lawyer to defend you. After we talk about lawyers, I will give you the next court hearing dates and times that you'll be required to attend after this court hearing. And the last thing we'll do while you're in the courtroom is talk about whether you are legally eligible to be released from custody. If you are, we will go over on what terms and conditions you can be released. In addition to that right to the assistance of counsel in a criminal case, you all also have the right to remain silent. These are recorded criminal proceedings, so anything that you do choose to say in the courtroom this afternoon will be preserved on the recording. It can be used against you at any point down the line. Unless you have made arrangements with a private lawyer, there will not be a lawyer in the courtroom this afternoon for the purpose of this hearing. For those of you that will not have a lawyer in here this afternoon, because anything you say could be used against you, I will strongly caution all of you not to make any statements regarding the facts about why you're here outside the presence of counsel. I encourage all of you to save any comments, questions, statements that you want to make about the facts of your case for a hearing where you have a lawyer present to discuss that with before you make any statements on the record that you can't take back. Last thing I'll tell you before we get started is that all of the information I give you while you're in the courtroom will be contained in a written document called a release order. You are going to get a copy of that document when you're done in here and you step back into the room that you're in right now. So please don't feel like you need to memorize dates, times, conditions as we're going through them here in the courtroom, but please keep that paperwork that you get with you wherever you go from here, because in that paperwork, come tomorrow, the next day, next week, you'll still be able to look back at it and get or still have all the information you got while you were in the courtroom. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Can I please ask Dwight Smith to work your way all the way into the courtroom? Sheila Blake, if you would sit right here in this first chair, and then Matthew Tomlinson, if you would work your way to the second chair, please. Okay, can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Dwight Ryan Smith.
And what's your date of birth?
12/20/82.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. All right, you are here on 3 different matters. The first one is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, 1 count of narcotic drug possession. Those are both class 4 felonies. 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, which is a class 6 felony. 1 count of driving on a suspended license, and 1 count of possessing an open container of liquor in a vehicle. Those last 2 are misdemeanor allegations. I have found probable cause to support those new allegations, and I have appointed the public defender's office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 21st and then a preliminary hearing April 24th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On those new allegations, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. The other 2 matters you're here on are both probation violation warrants. One of them was issued by the Apache County Superior Court. The second one issued by the Maricopa County Superior Court. On the Maricopa probation violation warrant, the petition to revoke your probation filed by adult probation alleges violations of terms 3 and 5 of your Maricopa County probation. In the Maricopa County probation case, I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. If you're entitled to a court-appointed lawyer in Apache County, the Apache County judge will appoint a lawyer for you on the Apache County case at your next hearing. Your next hearing on the Apache County probation case will be an arraignment hearing April 18th at 8:30. Your next hearing on the Maricopa probation case will be a revocation arraignment April 22nd at 8:30. On the 2 probation violation warrants, you are not eligible for release on bond. That means you will be held in custody without bail, at least until you see the probation judges. Because of that, I encourage you not yet to try to post your bond on that new case. I would encourage you to wait until after your probation hearings before you try to do that. If you posted that bond anytime between now and when you're seen by the probation court, you would still be held on the probation cases. Do you understand that information?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. You can work, there's your paperwork, and then you can head back to your left. Thank you. Sheila Blake, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Mr. Tomlinson, if you'd scooch over to chair 1, please, and then if I could have Deanna Minor work your way to the second chair. Okay, can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Sheila Blake, 11/24/82.
Thank you very much, Ms. Blake. You are here on 3 different matters. The first 2 are bench warrants issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at sentencing hearings in 2 different existing felony drug cases. In both of those existing cases, you have a lawyer already assigned to represent you. That assigned lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearing in those 2 existing cases will be a status conference April 21st at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On both of those warrants, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. That's each. So $1,000 total on the warrants on the 2 existing cases. The third and final matter you're here on is allegations of new offenses. Those allegations are 1 count of dangerous drug possession for sale, 1 count of narcotic drug possession for sale. Those are both class 2 felonies. 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a class 6 felony. 1 count of possessing prescription drugs without a prescription, that's a class 1 misdemeanor. 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of theft, a class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support the prohibited possessor allegation and the theft allegation. I have not found probable cause to support the drug-related allegations. My finding of no probable cause on those allegations does not mean they're legally dismissed. It just means that for purposes of this hearing this afternoon, the information provided to me by law enforcement was insufficient for me to determine that the legal elements of those crimes were met. It is possible that the county attorney's office will still file formal charges on those allegations, though. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, so I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. That lawyer will represent you against any charges formally filed as a result of this new arrest. Your next court hearings on the new allegations will be a status conference April 21st, and then a preliminary hearing April 24th. Because the allegations that I did find probable cause to support are felony offenses alleged to have been committed while you were on release in those two existing drug cases, you are not eligible for release on bond on the new allegations. That means you will be held in custody without bail at least until April 22nd at 1:30 when an evidentiary hearing takes place. Because you are not release eligible on those new allegations, at least until that hearing on the 22nd, I encourage you to wait until after that hearing before attempting to post the bond on the two existing cases. Do you understand that information?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Ms. Blake. There's your paperwork if you'll head back to your left. Matthew Tomlinson, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Ezekiel Rivera Villanueva, if you would please work your way to that second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Matthew Tomlinson, 1683.
Thank you, Mr. Tomlinson. You are here on 4 different matters. The first is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of taking contraband into a correctional facility that is a Class 2 felony, 1 count of shoplifting, and 1 count of criminal trespassing. Those last 2 are Class 1 misdemeanors. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I have appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings on the new allegations will be a status conference April 21st, and then a preliminary hearing the 24th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On those new allegations, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. The other 3 matters you're here on are all allegations that those new violations constitute Term 1 violations of your probation. In each of those 3 probation cases, I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing in all 3 of those probation cases will be a revocation arraignment April 22nd at 8:30, that one also in the Superior Court downtown. On each of those 3 probation cases, you are not eligible for release on bond. That means you will be held in custody without bail at least until you see the probation judge on April 22nd. Because of that, I encourage you to wait at least until after that hearing before attempting to post your bond on the new allegations. Do you understand that information?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tomlinson. There's your paperwork. You can head back to your left. Deanna Miner to the podium in the courtroom, please. Anthony Aguilar, if I could ask you to please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Deanna Miner, 3872.
Thank you, Ms. Miner. You are here on a failure to appear warrant issued by the Yuma County Superior Court. It looks like the underlying allegations in that case are drug-related allegations. I don't know whether the Yuma County Court has determined you're entitled to a court-appointed lawyer in that case yet or not. If you have been appointed a lawyer, the lawyer assigned to your case will continue to represent you in that matter. If the Yuma County Court has not yet made a determination as to whether you're entitled to counsel, I am determining that you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. That lawyer will be appointed for you, again, to the extent you don't already have one, at your next court hearing. It has to be Yuma County that appoints that lawyer for you. Your next hearing on this warrant will be an arraignment hearing April 18th. It will be at 8:30 in the morning in the Yuma County Superior Court. The Yuma County judge that issued that warrant has indicated that you have a $30,000 secured appearance bond. Secured appearance means that you can use a bonding company to post that bond if you choose to. If you do post that bond and you are released from custody, it will then be your responsibility to get yourself to the hearing in Yuma on April 18th. Also, if you post that bond and you're released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
So I can post bond now. I don't have to wait till going to Yuma, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you can post that bond anytime between now and your court hearing.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions, Ms. Miner?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much. You can step back. Ezekiel Rivera Villanueva to the podium in the courtroom, please. Matthew Gabbard, if you would work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Ezekiel Rivera Villanueva on 2003, February 11.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rivera Villanueva. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 2 counts of aggravated assault. They are both Class 3 felonies. 1 count of threatening and intimidating, and 1 count of criminal damage. Those last 2 are Class 1 misdemeanors. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I have appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 21st, and then a preliminary hearing April 24th. Both of those hearings will take place at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown.
Yes, ma'am.
On these allegations, I have imposed a $25,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that prior to your physical release from custody, you will be affixed with an ankle monitor for electronic monitoring. If you post that bond and you are released on that ankle monitor, you cannot go back to the scene where these alleged offenses took place. You also cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses. If you are released from custody, you also cannot possess any weapons, and you cannot possess or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Last, whether or not you are released from custody, you are ordered to strictly comply with the terms of any order. Last, whether or not you are released from custody, you are ordered to strictly comply with the terms of any orders of protection that have been or that might later be served upon you. Do you understand all of those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir. If you'll wait
Thank
for your paperwork and then step back to your left. Anthony Aguilar, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Jerome Medley, if I could please ask you to work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Anthony Aguilar, 41270.
Thank you, Mr. Aguilar. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of aggravated assault. It is a Class 5 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation, and I have appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 21st, and then a preliminary hearing April 24th. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On this allegation, I have imposed a $15,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses. You cannot possess any weapons. You cannot possess or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. If you will wait for your paperwork, then you can head back to your left.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
I got a misdemeanor warrant that I didn't know that I had.
Okay.
How do I rectify that?
Did you say, how do I rectify that?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what court that's out of. Do you know?
Out of here.
Well, the Superior Court wouldn't issue a warrant on a misdemeanor case.
Well, it's out of Maricopa.
Well, there are a lot of, so is it a city court? Is it a justice court?
It's a misdemeanor court.
Yeah. All city courts and all justice courts are misdemeanor courts. There's probably about 40 in Maricopa County.
Due to an animal cruelty charge that did not...
You can ask MCSO when you get back in the jail. You can ask them what agency has a hold on you for that misdemeanor warrant. I don't know what court it was issued out of, but it wasn't this court. So you'd have to talk to whatever court issued that warrant to get it taken care of.
Yes.
It might have been Phoenix. Does he have a Phoenix hold? You don't know? He has nothing? Okay. So yeah, I don't know. It's MCSO is saying there's no other warrant holds on you, so I don't know what that is about. I don't know where you're getting that information, but if whoever told you you have that warrant could tell you what court issued it, then you could call that court and try and get that worked out.
Yeah. It was Mesa that told me that.
Oh, so you could call the Mesa court.
Okay.
Or it was Mesa PD that told you that?
Yeah.
It could be out of Mesa. It was Mesa PD that arrested you. So I would say maybe if and when you get out of here, call the Mesa court and see if there's a warrant out of Mesa for you.
And how much do I have to put up for this?
So the court has to receive a $15,000 bond. If you want to go through a bonding company, my general understanding is that bonding companies require a minimum of 10%, which would be $1,500. But if you want to go through a bonding company, call some when you get back in the jail. There's a list of bonding companies back in there, and see if you can find one that will work with your circumstances.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. Matthew Gabbard, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Dusty Hayes, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Matthew Gabbard, Your Honor, May 21st, 1988.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gabbard. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is one count of causing criminal damage. It is a Class 5 felony. Before I go any further, I do need to state to you and for purposes of the record that it is my understanding that your need for medical care following your arrest or at the time of your arrest prohibited you from being brought to this court within 24 hours after your arrest. My understanding is also that law enforcement timely brought you to this court upon your discharge or the conclusion of your need for medical care. That circumstances constitutes extraordinary circumstances that justify your delay in presentment to this court. So I am going to go forward and see you. I have found probable cause for that criminal damage allegation. I've also determined that you're entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, so I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 21st and then a preliminary hearing April 24th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On this allegation, you have a $5,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released, you cannot go back to the scene where the alleged criminal damage offenses took place, and you cannot have contact with any alleged witnesses. You also cannot possess any weapons or possess or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription if you're released. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gabbard. If you'll wait for your paperwork, then you can head back to your left. Jerome Medley, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Danielle Yazzie, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Yeah, Jerome Medley, 12763.
Thank you, Mr. Medley. You are here on two different matters. The first matter is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are one count of narcotic drug possession and one count of dangerous drug possession. They're both Class 4 felonies. I have found probable cause to support those allegations. I've also appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings on the new allegations will be a status conference April 21st and then a preliminary hearing April 24th, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On the new allegations, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is an allegation that the new violations constitute Term 1 probation violations. I have also appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you in that probation case. Your next hearing in the probation matter will be a revocation arraignment April 22nd, also at 8:30 downtown. On the probation case, you have a $2,500 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $3,000. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription, and you cannot return to the scene where you were arrested on the new allegations. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Medley. If you'll wait for your paperwork, then you can head back to your left.
Your arms out, please.
Will you take your arms out, please. Okay, Nicholas Finley, if you please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Dusty Hayes, January 2nd, 1979.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hayes. You are here on two different matters. The first one is a grand jury warrant. In that case, a state grand jury was convened and found probable cause to return an indictment against you. That indictment contains 11 counts of organized retail theft, all Class 4 felonies, all alleged to have been committed between May 17th and November 8th of 2024. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you in that case. Your next hearing will be an arraignment hearing April 22nd at 8:30. On that grand jury warrant, you have a $2,500 secured appearance bond. You're also here on an allegation of a new offense that was allegedly committed at the time of arrest. That allegation is one count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony. I have not found probable cause to support that allegation. That means I'm not imposing any additional bond amounts or release restrictions on you for that new booking offense. I am appointing a lawyer to defend you in that case because it is still possible that the attorney or that the Maricopa County Attorney's Office will file charges on it. So you were booked in on a new narcotic drug allegation. I did not find probable cause for. You have a lawyer in that case. I'm also going to give you court hearing dates. So you'll have a status conference April 30th and then a preliminary hearing May 2nd. When you go to court on April 30th, you might find out nothing was filed and the court will tell you you don't have to come back May 2nd, you're free to go. But if charges are filed and you don't go to court on April 30th, that court's going to issue a new warrant for your arrest. So make sure you go to court on April 30th and May 5th, but you also have that $2,500 bond and you're hearing on the 22nd on the grand jury case. Okay, any questions?
No.
All right, thank you. If you'll wait for your paperwork before you head back to your left. Thank you, Ms. Hayes. Danielle Yazzie, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Elizabeth Chavez, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Danielle Yazzie, 1994.
Thank you, Ms. Yazzie. You are here on two different matters. The first is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of unlawful imprisonment, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support the misdemeanor unlawful imprisonment allegation. I have not found probable cause to support the dangerous drug allegation. The county attorney's office might still file formal charges on that dangerous drug allegation, but I am not considering it or imposing any release conditions on it, only the unlawful imprisonment allegation. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you in this case. Your next court hearings on the new allegation will be a status conference April 21st and then a preliminary hearing the 24th, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that unlawful imprisonment allegation, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is an allegation that new unlawful imprisonment allegation constitutes a Term 1 violation of your probation. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you in that probation case. Your next hearing in that matter will be a revocation arraignment April 22nd, also at 8:30 downtown. In the probation matter, you have a $1,500 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $1,600 for both cases. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where the new alleged offense took place. You cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses of that allegation, and you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription if you are released from custody. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Yazzie. If you'll grab your paperwork, you can head back to your left.
Thank you.
Nicholas Finley, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Adam Haywood, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Nicholas Finley, October 25th, 1984.
Thank you, Mr. Finley. You are here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at a status conference in an existing felony drug case. In that existing case, you have a lawyer already assigned to defend you. That lawyer will continue to represent you. Your next court hearing will be a status conference April 21st. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown, and you have a $500 secured appearance bond on that warrant. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription while you're on release. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Finley. If you'll take your paperwork, you can head back to your left. Elizabeth Chavez to the podium in the courtroom, please. Charles Epps, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Elizabeth Chavez Almejo, and my date of birth is 7/6/87.
Thank you very much. You are here on an arrest warrant issued after a direct complaint was filed. A direct complaint is a written document that alleges new allegations against you. The allegations in that direct complaint are 6 counts of aggravated driving under the influence, 2 Class 4 felonies, and 4 Class 6 felonies. That warrant alleges that all 6 of those offenses were committed April 25th of 2021. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you in this case. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 21st and then a preliminary hearing April 24th. Both of those hearings will be at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. You cannot operate a motor vehicle if you don't have a valid driver's license. And if you are released and you operate a motor vehicle, you cannot have a passenger under the age of 18 in the vehicle that you're operating. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Chavez. There's your
So,
paperwork.
I have a question.
Sure.
So it's 500, the bond,
Correct.
and where can I pay it?
So you personally could only pay it if you have $500 on your jail books. What needs to happen is someone has to go down to the 4th Avenue Bonds and Fines office and post it for you.
Okay.
If you have more questions about how to get a bond posted, jail staff can answer those questions for you when you get back into the jail facility.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Chavez. You can work your way back to your left. Adam Haywood to the podium in the courtroom, please. Columbus Campbell, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Adam Haywood, 4/17/78.
Thank you very much, Mr. Haywood. You are here on 3 different matters. The first one is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those new allegations, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings on the new allegations will be a status conference April 21st, and then a preliminary hearing the 24th, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On those new allegations, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. The other 2 matters that you're here on are both allegations that those new charges violate Term 1 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you in both of those probation cases. Your next court hearing in the 2 probation cases will be a revocation arraignment April 22nd at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On each of those 2 probation cases, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. So $1,000 total on the 2 probation cases, $1,100 total for all 3 matters, all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, thank you, Mr. Haywood. If you'll grab your paperwork, then you can work your way back to your left. Charles Epps, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Angelica Aguilar Robles, if you please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Yeah, Charles Epps, April 3rd, 1993.
Thank you very much, Mr. Epps. You are here on 3 probation violation warrants. In all 3 cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed, alleging that you have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I've appointed a lawyer for you in all 3 cases. Your next court hearing in each of these 3 matters will be a revocation arraignment April 22nd at 8:30. On each of the 3 warrants, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. That means your total bond will be $1,500, all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Epps. If you'll wait for your paperwork, then you can work your way back to your left.
Thank you.
Columbus Campbell to the podium in the courtroom, please. Michael Simpson, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Excuse me, can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Yes, Columbus Campbell, April 29th, 1980.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. You are here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at a status conference in an existing felony drug case. You have a lawyer already assigned to you in that case. That lawyer will continue to represent you. Your next court hearing will be a status conference April 24th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown, and you have a $250 secured appearance bond on that warrant. If you post that bond and you are released, you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription once you're out of custody. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Angelica Aguilar Robles, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Michael Rebozo, if you would work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Angelica Aguilar Robles, March 6, 2003.
Thank you, Ms. Aguilar Robles. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of trafficking in stolen property, a Class 3 felony, and 1 count of burglary, a Class 4 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 30th, and then a preliminary hearing May 2nd. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services, so you will be released from custody without a bond. That means it's going to be your responsibility to get yourself to both of those court hearings on your own. Once you're out of custody, you'll also be required to make contact with pretrial services. With your paperwork, you'll get a little packet from pretrial. Their contact information will be in that packet, so please keep that so you can call them when you're out. Once you're out of custody, you cannot return to the scene where the alleged burglary or trafficking allegations took place. You cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses, and you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Perfectly clear.
I'm sorry?
Perfectly clear.
Very good. Thank you very much. If you'll get your paperwork here, then you can work your way back to your left. Michael Simpson to the podium in the courtroom, please. Cheyenne Sipay, if you'd work your way to the chair, second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Michael William Simpson, 10/14/69.
Thank you, Mr. Simpson. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony, 1 count of resisting arrest, and 1 count of theft. Those last 2 are misdemeanor allegations. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 30th, and then a preliminary hearing May 2nd, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services. So first, you will get out of custody. You do not need to post a bond in order to secure your release. Once you're out of custody, you will be responsible for getting yourself to both of those court hearings. You will also be required to call pretrial services once you're out of custody. Their information, their contact information will be in a little envelope packet you get with your release paperwork.
Okay.
Also, once you're out of custody, you cannot return to the scene where you were arrested. You cannot have contact with any alleged witnesses, and you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand those conditions?
I do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Simpson. If you will get your paperwork, then you can head back to your left. Michael Rebozo to the podium in the courtroom, please. Lauren Fouts, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Michael Rebozo, October 12, 1985.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rebozo. You are here on an arrest warrant issued after a direct complaint was filed. A direct complaint is a written document that alleges new allegations against you. The allegations in that direct complaint are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, 2 counts of dangerous drug possession. All 3 of those are Class 4 felonies, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. The warrant alleges that all of those offenses were committed April 27th of 2024. I have appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you in that case. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 30th, and then a preliminary hearing May 2nd, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you to the direction of pretrial services, so you will get out of custody. You don't need to post a bond. Once you are out, you will be responsible for getting yourself to both of those court hearings. You will also have to contact pretrial services once you're out. Their contact information will be in a packet that you get with your release paperwork, so please keep all of that. Once you're out of custody, you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
I do. I have one question.
Okay.
I actually went to court yesterday. I was getting ready for bed when police knocked on my door, telling me about a warrant. I never got any kind of paperwork. I actually went to court, asked my lawyer, because I saw this paper a couple days ago, and he said, no, that can't be right because you wouldn't be able to be seen on a docket if you had a warrant. So I don't understand. That was Mesa Municipal Court. I had no idea that I was being charged in Superior Court. I had no idea.
So it looks like what happened is an original summons was mailed out. That mail was returned to the court, and so the court issued a warrant to make you aware of these charges. So I don't know if the court had a bad address. I don't know if you moved. I don't know what the deal was, but that's why the warrant was issued. And in terms of how you could have been seen without this warrant, if you were seen in Mesa City Court, they wouldn't have seen you on this warrant anyway. So I don't know how or why that happened, but It is a valid warrant, and it looks like it was issued after the summons was returned unclaimed or undeliverable.
I did move 2 years ago.
Okay,
So
yeah, so it looks like so all I know is the original offense date is alleged to have been April of 2024. It looks like the summons was mailed out February-ish of 2025 and returned to the court in sometime March of 2025. So it looks like you may have moved between April of 2024 and February of 2025.
Okay, so I just have to contact pretrial services, correct?
Once you're out, yes, contact pretrial services, get yourself to court on the 30th and the 2nd, and then don't have any drugs without a valid prescription.
Not a problem. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Rebozo.
Thank you.
Cheyenne Cepay to the podium in the courtroom, please. Miguel Flores, if you would work your way to the second chair. Can one of you wake her up and bring her in, please? Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Cheyenne C. 9/20/1997.
Thank you, Ms. Cepay. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of criminal trespassing, a Class 3 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause to support those allegations, and I appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 30th, and then a preliminary hearing May 2nd. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you on your own recognizance on these allegations, so you are eligible for release from custody without having to post a bond. Once you're out of custody, you will be responsible for getting yourself to both of those court hearings. You cannot return to the scene where the alleged trespassing offense took place, and you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand all of those conditions?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you very much. If you'll get your paperwork here and head back to your left, I think probably to the same seat you were in. Lauren Faust, if you would please work your way into the courtroom, please. Good afternoon, sir. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Lauren Pouts, 12/26/1967.
Thank you very much, Mr. Faust. You are here on a failure to appear warrant issued by the Santan Justice Court on a misdemeanor driving on a suspended license allegation. Because the nature of that allegation is a misdemeanor offense, you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer to defend you in that case. If you don't already have a lawyer working with you, but you want one, you will have to hire a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing on this warrant will be an arraignment hearing April 29th. It will be at 9 o'clock in the morning in the Santan Justice Court. I am releasing you on your own recognizance on this warrant, so you will get out of custody and you will be responsible for getting yourself to that hearing the 29th at 9. You will have the address, phone number, that date and time in your paperwork, so please keep that so you don't have any problems knowing where to go or when to be there. Once you're out of custody, if you don't have a valid driver's license, you cannot operate a motor vehicle. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Faust. If you'll get your paperwork here to your right, and then you can head back to your left.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Miguel Flores, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Miguel Flores, 11/30/82.
Thank you very much, Mr. Flores. Okay, you are here on a probation violation warrant issued by the state of California. Before you came into the courtroom, did you get a big laminated card to review?
Yes. It's
okay, very good. Did you read through that card?
Yes.
Okay. All right. As I indicated, you're here on an out-of-state, specifically a California warrant. Because your warrant is an out-of-state warrant, your hearing will look a little bit different than everybody else's. You will have a choice between 2 different options to make at this hearing. I will go over what the 2 options are. I will give you any opportunities or an opportunity to ask any questions you have about either option.
Okay.
At the end of your hearing, I am going to ask you which option you pick. All right. As I indicated, you're here on a California warrant. Before you were put on a court docket here in Arizona, Arizona confirmed with California that is a valid warrant. California has indicated that they are willing to extradite you. So what that means is California has, at least as of yesterday, told Arizona, we intend to come pick him up. We want to bring him back to California.
Sure.
Okay, because of that, like I alluded to earlier, you'll have a choice between 2 different options to make here this afternoon. The first option you can pick is to waive your right to an extradition hearing here in Arizona and agree to go back to California. If you pick that option, you're not waiving any rights or defenses you have to the probation case in California. You are only waiving your right to an extradition hearing here in Arizona. The only thing that hearing or those proceedings would determine is whether California could legally come to Arizona and take you back. If you pick option 1 and you waive your right to an extradition hearing, you will be held in custody here in Maricopa County without bond for up to 30 days. That 30-day time period will start ticking tomorrow unless you have criminal charges pending in Arizona that are not resolved yet. If that's the case, then that 30-day time period will not start ticking until the Arizona criminal charges reach disposition. So option 1 is you waive your right to an extradition hearing, you agree to go back to California, and you stay in custody here, no bond, for up to 30 days, starting either tomorrow or when local charges are resolved. If you don't pick option 1, I'm just calling them options 1 and 2. Those aren't official. So if you don't pick that option, the next option you could choose is to not waive your right to an extradition hearing. If you pick that second option, I will set an extradition hearing here in Arizona for April 28th at 1:30. Extradition proceedings here are civil, not criminal matters. So what that means is you're not entitled to, and I could not appoint a lawyer to represent you in the extradition proceedings. You do always have the right to hire a lawyer, though, if you pick option 2 and I set that hearing and you want to have a lawyer present. Okay, if you pick option 2 and I set that hearing, you're still not eligible for release on bond because it is a probation violation warrant. So regardless of which option you pick, you will stay in custody without the opportunity to post a bond. If you pick option 2, that time period could be up to 90 days while governor's warrants are secured by the governors of Arizona and California. Once each state's governor signs a warrant, that's what legally allows California to come to Arizona and requires Arizona to relinquish you back to California authorities. So I think I said it, but if I didn't, that time period from the extradition hearing to getting a governor's warrant could be up to 90 days. You would stay in custody that whole time. The only difference between the calculation of time periods is in option 2, if you have unresolved criminal charges in Arizona, that 90-day time period is ticking at the same time as your local charges are going through their proceedings. So option 1 is you wait and then, so it's disposition of local charges plus 30 days. In option 2, the disposition of your local charges time period runs concurrent to the 90-day time period. Okay, do you have any questions about either option?
Not so much. I just had one question about when the time started. So I was brought in on the 11th of April. And these court dates, this is my 4th time coming back.
On the California warrant?
Yeah, back here to walk it here to this jail to see somebody.
But is this the 4th time you've been seen on the California warrant?
No.
Oh, okay.
So they've just brought me over. This is the 4th time, and this is the first time I've been able to see anybody. So I don't know why that time
I don't know either.
It kept being
so you were brought here and then taken back without seeing a judge? I don't know why that would be. I don't have control over MCSO's transportation list or how that happens. I will tell you that for out-of-state warrants, they don't ever go away. So even after I see you, if for some reason you were to get out of custody and, like, say California calls and says, we're not going to come get him, and they release you on this warrant, you could, as soon as you walk out, be re-picked up on it.
Yeah, and that was, and I already spoken with them. It was just,
with California?
It was just a miscommunication. So I was there to
be careful with what you say. I don't want you to make any admissions that California could use against you.
Sure, it was,
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what the underlying situation in California is. I just know that they've issued a probation violation warrant, and they're telling us it's active, it's valid, and they're willing to come get you.
Option number 1. I really just want to get this over with. And I've already spoken to them.
Do you have pending charges in Arizona that are not disposed of? No. Okay. All right. So then your 30-day time period will start tomorrow on that. So, because I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, though, but because...
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is that 30 days, 30 calendar days or 30 business days?
30 calendar days.
Okay.
It's up to 30 calendar days. So it's possible California will come get you tomorrow. It's possible they'll come on day 22, but they have up to 30 days to come get you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Any other? Okay. Because you are electing to waive a legal right that you are entitled to, I do need to ask you some questions just to make a record of your waiver. Only thing I ask, and you've done great so far, is that you answer these questions out loud instead of shaking or nodding your head,
Sure.
please. Okay, question number 1, did you read the waiver of extradition paperwork on that big laminated card?
I did, yes.
Do you understand you do not have to sign the waiver of extradition paperwork?
Yes.
Do you understand you have the right to pick option 2 and have an extradition hearing here in Arizona?
I do, yes.
Do you understand that if you picked option 2 and had an extradition hearing, you would have the right to hire a lawyer to be present at that hearing?
Correct, yes.
Do you understand you have the right to demand that warrants are signed by the governors of Arizona and California if you picked option 2?
Yes.
Before you're extradited?
Yes.
Okay. Do you wish to give up those rights and sign the waiver of extradition paperwork?
I do, yes.
Has anybody threatened you or promised you anything in exchange for your signature on the waiver?
No.
Have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication in the last 24 hours that would affect your ability to waive a legal right?
No.
Similar question, but in reverse. Is there any medication that you should have taken in the last 24 hours that you have not taken that would affect your ability to waive a legal right?
No.
Okay, then I will find that you are knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily signing the waiver of extradition paperwork. I will sign it. Once we both sign, I will notify the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office to let California know you're ready to return. They'll have 30 days starting tomorrow to come get you.
Thank you.
Any final questions for me before I ask you to step to your right and sign?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, unlike everybody else, and if you'll step up here to your right, I do need you to physically sign that waiver.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 1 on the calendar, Wesley Garvin, date of birth 12/3/85, is not in the courtroom because he poses a danger to himself. He is here on an allegation of a new charge. The allegation is 1 count of assault, a class 1 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and determined he's entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, which will be appointed at his next hearing. That hearing will be an arraignment hearing April 18th at 8:30 in the Santan Justice Court, and he has a $1,500 secured appearance bond. Number 6 on the calendar, Brandon D. Piano, date of birth 2/1/87, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to combative behavior. He is here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of burglary, a class 4 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend him. His next court hearings will be a status conference April 30th and a preliminary hearing May 2nd, both at 8:30, and he will be released on his own recognizance. Last on the calendar, number 9, Samantha D. Hill, date of birth 3/23/91, is not in the courtroom because she was unable to function in general population due to inappropriate self-gratifying behavior. She is here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of theft of a means of transportation, a class 3 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend her. Her next court hearings will be a status conference April 30th and a preliminary hearing May 2nd, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown, and I am releasing her on her own recognizance. If anything changes after I visit these individuals' cell side, their final release conditions as ordered by the court will be reflected in their written release orders. That concludes the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar. This court will stand in recess until 5 p.m.